Hi, it's Ci Clubsport, and I know I haven't posted video for a while, but as you can imagine with what's been going on and everything, there's not been a lot to post, although I can't argue that I've not had time to work on some little old jobs on the car, but it's not ideal weather either. Anyway, so if you remember a little bit back, I did a video about a parasitic draw on the car. Well, if you watch that video, the conclusion of it was that I bought a battery tester, which was the top on this one, and it diagnosed that the battery wasn't that good. It was pretty bad, so I ended up buying a new battery, which is a USA Silver 5000 with 760 cold cranking amps. The previous one was 640, so this was quite considerably more. And of course, as you can imagine, over the pandemic period that we're having, the car hasn't been used as much. In fact, I've only really used it to go shopping. But I think the car was not used for about somewhere between 7 to 10 days. And I came down to the car 2 days ago, and when I just started to crank it, I just got click, 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 and the headlights were flashing on and off. So there was power there, but there just wasn't enough to crank it over. So I had to boost it with my battery booster. So I boosted it, started fine. I took it to the supermarket, it was fine. I had my booster with me in case it failed again, but it didn't. And I've come down now 2 days later, it started over again, no problem. There's only 11.3 volts on the battery at the moment, which is not ideal. But what I'm going to be doing now is testing again for a parasitic draw. Ideally, I would have liked 12.5 volts on this battery to do this, but we're going to see if we can get it anyway, because my first culprit I want to check is the radio. That seems to be a common thing. So I'm going to set this up a different way than I did last time. I've got my multimeter here, and I'm going to be opening my bag with the crocodile clips, so I don't have to use mole grips, because normally you would mole grip a cable to here, mole grip a cable to here. So what we're going to do is we're going to get a 13 inch, that'll be great, wouldn't it, 13mm spanner. Take this cable off here, not off the negative, we're just going to take it off here, and I'm going to leave the subwoofer attached. I'm going to take it off here, and we're going to put the black cable of the multimeter onto there, and then the red cable onto the ground here, and we're going to test for amps. Now the car's going to need at least, I've just had the car running, and it's going to need at least around 15 to 16 minutes to go into its own sleep mode. So the way I'm going to do this, I'm going to have an anti-theft device here, is I'm going to open the glove box, and I'm going to keep that open, and then after 15 minutes the car should shut itself down, and that light should go out, and also these rear lights will go out a lot sooner. But once I need that glove box open for the fuse box, so I'm going to have to, oh, and also I want to put the passenger window down as well, because I'm going to need to get in there. So let me just see if I can do that. It's funny, isn't it, because it won't go down if I press the button, but for some reason if I open the door and now press the button, now it will. I know, it's weird. Maybe I should leave the door open, because the moment I open it, the lights are going to come on, and I need to be in the glove box there for the fuse box. So I think I'm going to leave the door open. It doesn't seem to want to stay open. I haven't got enough distance to the door. Alright, so let me sort out all these issues and I'll get back. Alright guys, so everything is set up. As you can see, we have 2.4 amp draw at the moment. So what I've done is I've disconnected this cable, negative, and the black's on there. You can see I've got it set up on amps here and the common, and this is going to ground. Disconnected the rear lights because they light up in the boot, so that needs to be taken care of. The power is still on, as you can see. So what we have to do now is wait for 15 minutes for the car to start going into sleep mode. It's gone down to 2.1 now. I think over time it is going to go down. I think, if I'm not mistaken, anything over, once the car goes into sleep mode, anything over 0.4 isn't good. So we'll know we'll have more of a parasitic drain if we get that. So I'm hoping that after 15 minutes we'll be able to see that ampage drop quite considerably. I'm hoping so anyway, because all we have on, I mean, I'll know when the car starts to shut down because these internal lights will go off. At least I hope they will with the door open, because I'm going to need the door to get in anyway. Look at all my COVID masks, my current one, my last one, and other ones. Yeah, so we've got that, and then if we pull down the fuse box, I think we'll need to go to the radio one, which I think is 54. I'm not sure if it is 54. I've got a piece of wood in the door, but anyway, so all I can do now is leave it and come back after 15-20 minutes. So what I'm going to do is shut the garage door, and I'll be back in 15 minutes and we'll see where we are. Right, it's been a little over 15 minutes. Let's open up and see where we are. Oh, my multimeter's gone off. Awesome. Well, that looks bloody fine to me. 0.1. Well, now what? Let's just make sure everything's gone off, and as you can see, it has. The car has shut everything down. As far as I'm aware, guys, that is absolutely fine. 0.1. So why isn't this brand new battery not lasting a week in the car? I mean, sorry, I had to get my tea there. It lasted a week and then it wouldn't start. Now, it hasn't been out on a good run, but 760 cold cranking amps, and it couldn't start the car after a week. As far as I'm aware, guys, this is good. 0.1, or is it not good? Should it be 0.01? That's a point. Maybe I should check that up. Alright, I'm going to have a look and I'll be back. Alright, so it's been over 16 minutes. The car shut its modules down, and then if you wait a few more minutes it starts shutting other stuff down, and we got down to 0.08. Now this, bear in mind, I did pull one of the radio fuses. There's two fuses on the radio. It is 7 and 41. 7 is a 5 amp fuse and 41 is a 30 amp. I pulled out the 30 amp. Now I already did a test without the 30 amp fuse pulled, and we get a reading of 0.1 0.03. So with the fuse pulled, it's down to 0.08, which I think is still high, because this is 8 milliamps, right? Is it milliamps? Yeah. Well, 1 amp is 1000 milliamps, so 0.1 is 100 milliamps, so this is 80 milliamps, and I think we need to be lower than that. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to try and pull fuse number 7, which, oh, guess what, it's been piggybacked by, now that's either my rear camera, or my dash cam. Okay, so there's two things it can be. It can be my dash cam, which I have a front and rear camera for. Okay, you can just see that there. Or also, it could be my actual camera. So, okay, I guess I'm going to have to somehow get in there. I don't want to activate the electric chair to push it back, because that's going to just upset things. So this is a nightmare, but I'm going to have to pull it. Alright, so I'm going to pull this one and then we'll go. I'm going to pull that and then we'll take it from there and see, because that is piggybacking on fuse 7, I think. So let's pull that out. Or maybe it wasn't, because according to the fuse map there are 4 gaps, and then we have 5, 6 and 7, and 7 is the one I want. So there's the 4 gaps. So this is the other radio, there's the 4 gaps, and this is the other radio fuse, this third one here. So what I'm going to do, now that I've pulled out the dash cam, I think, or whatever it is, I'll have to try and figure out which one that is. So we still have the same reading. So whatever that fuse is, it ain't that. Okay, so let's pull fuse 7 and see if it drops. I can't put my camera, or maybe I can. Because if it isn't this, oh, this is so awkward. If it isn't this, it means going through, you know, everything. Alright, so there's fuse number 7 out. So both radio fuses are now out. And as you can see, we have nothing so far. I believe there are times when you have to just wait a little while as well for the car to just drop it even further down, but I'm sure sometimes it's instant as well. I'm not actually sure. I have seen a case where somebody pulled a radio fuse out, but then the ampage stayed the same for a while, and then like maybe a minute or so, and then it dropped right down. Okay, so I think I'm also piggybacking another fuse. So I just want to check all the third-party stuff first. So I'm piggybacking stupid bloody torch up here. Am I? No, that's the only one I'm piggybacking off. Okay. Yeah, these cables you see are just running across to there. I think this is the dash cam, because so what the hell did I just pull then? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So I think this is a dash cam, because I think the rear parking camera is part of the radio as well. I think it's all wired in as the radio. or actually not, I think it might be hardwired into this fuse box. Did I hardwire it in the back? No, I didn't. No, this is the dash cam, because this is the hardwire kit for the dash cam. Yes, it is. So what I'm going to have to do is start pulling more fuses out one at a time, because this is still 087. So what I'm going to do is I have to painstakingly go to the car, pull a fuse, come back here, go to the car, pull the next fuse, come back here. And if I can get through all of those and it's still showing a parasitic drain, then we've got to start looking at relays, and some of those are under the driver's feet, I think, behind the pedals, or at least further up, and some are in the engine bay. So all fun and games, eh? 0.08. I think we need to get to 0.04 or less, and then we're good to go. But I need to keep switching this because this stupid thing has got auto power off, so I need to keep that going. Right, I'll start pulling fuses, and if I come across anything I'll let you know. Okay, so I pulled a few more fuses, and this interminable 16-minute wait. Every time I pulled something, like I pulled the fuse for the glove box light, so when I pushed it back in, the glove box light came on. I had to wait another 16 minutes. I pulled another fuse, and it somehow opened the sunroof and the back windows, and it would have opened the front windows as well, but they're already open. It pulled the mirrors, it moved the mirrors down and up, and I don't know what was going on. But I had to wait. Anyway, so currently I've only got the radio fuse out, both fuses, 7 and 41, and it went down to 0.08, as you know, but I've waited a bit longer now, and look, it's gone down even more. So this is the current draw, 0.05. Now if I put these on, what if this is the drain, you know, because I've probably got some dodgy wiring back here, but the bulbs don't light, so I don't think it could be that. And I've already done that test. I haven't done it this time, but last time I was testing for a parasitic drain. One thing I did do was I pulled down the seats at the back, so that I wanted to make sure that from when I closed the boot, that these lights in the boot lights, they do actually go out. You know, it's like when you close the fridge, does the light does the light go out when you close the fridge? So I had to carry out that test to make sure that the boot lights were going out when the boot was closed, and they were, and also the glove box, which, as you can see, by leaving the glove box open, I've proved that the glove box does also go off. So this is the number we have, 0.052. It's not perfect. I would like to be under 0.04, but because I'm in such a confined area at the moment and it's very difficult to get in and out, I think I'm going to carry out this test again on a better day. I mean, the day's okay at the moment, but I want to wait until there's a, you know, not today, let's just put it that way. And I want to just bring the car out and just leave it out here, and then just carry out the fuse tests. But in the meantime, I'm going to do some more research and find out, you know, what other people have experienced when they've had a parasitic draw. Most people find out it's the radio. I know there's is it a diode on the back of the alternator? That could also be a culprit. But I don't know. So this is my thing right now. Yeah, so we will see. I'm just going to put everything back together and go from there. Alright, if you've got any comments, guys, let me know what you think about 0.052. and is that enough to stop this battery from cranking over after just over a week? Yeah, but I say that, but that's not strictly true, is it? Because it's only 0.052 when the radio fuses are out. I'm going to push the radio fuses back in and see what we get. Right guys, look at this. I've just added fuse 41, not number 7, just 41 on its own, and it's doubled. It's gone from 0.05 to 0.1. So that's it. It's double the ampage. So I'm going to put it down to radio, and I'm going to accept 0.051. Now 41 is navigation, which again is the radio. Radio 7 and 41. Anything else on 41? It's kind of weird because I'm gonna pull it out again, but it's kind of weird because my head unit, which is extrons, it's not like I've had to cable anything in. I've not had to cable anything in separately, you know. It's basically what it was, I know you can't see because there's no lights here at the moment, but what it is I've used the existing, see, look at that, that's with the fuse back out again. So I used the existing BMW wiring loom for this radio, because this brought its own wiring loom, but they bring their own adapters to go into the BMW wiring loom. So it's not like there's any stray cables or any such thing like that. However, I do need to check such things as, I'm going to plug in fuse 7 on its own now. Bloody hell. Just got an email from the sat-nav people. Coincidental. Right, so that's fuse 7 back in. So what I'm saying is, to wire this head unit up, it was just a case of using the BMW loom, as far as I can remember. But I do have to have a look at, I have to take this out anyway, because I want to have a look at the antenna, the radio antenna, which there may be a cable there that I missed, and that's why the radio's not working. Apparently there's a separate cable which you have to cable in for the radio, as well as putting in the antenna cable. Yeah, look, still the same even with fuse 7 in. So it's fuse number 41. That's the culprit as far as I'm concerned. Yes, I know you want to switch off. So what my point is apart from wiring in the loom, so taking the loom, so I'm really explaining this bad. Okay, so you buy the radio, you open the box, you get the wiring loom, so you plug all of that into the back of the radio, and then that plugs into the BMW loom. Now, apart from that loom, as far as I'm aware, there's no extra cables going anywhere. There may be one going to, well, there's one going to the antenna. I think it's the FACRA cable. FACRA. But again, there may be another separate antenna cable which goes to the booster or something, which is why I'm not getting a radio signal. Now, I also have stuff plugged in down here, like the modem, which I think, again, let me put the light on for you guys. Of course, I don't have it. This is just something I'm thinking of right now. This radio has its own modem, so it can connect to the internet, right? So let me just take all this crap out of here. I must remember to wire up my my dash cam. And even though I've got like 4 or 5 different sat navs on this unit, I still like my TomTom. I still prefer my TomTom. But I've got some really nice ones in there. Okay, so in here we have all of this palaver. Alright, USBs. So I've got this, the modem, and I have the DABs unit for the DAB radio. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to pull out the DABs and I'm going to pull out the modem. And then I'm going to plug the radio back in and see if we still get that drain. Alright, so I'm going to plug that in and let's have a look. I think it's fuse number 4 along the bottom. Yep, it is indeed. So bear with me, guys. I'm just going to grab the fuse with my little fuse puller. There we go. Alright, and I'm going to get my torch. It's very cramped in here. So we want to be on, we've got a blue, a blank, and an orange and a blank. So we want to be there. So now, question is, that's the radio plugged back in again. Ouch! Wow, that hurts. Damaging myself on the car seat. Is it still the same? Yeah, it is. Okay. It is still the same. Alright, so it's not the fault of the modem pulling power, and it's not the fault of the DAB radio, which again is bloody useless. Doesn't really work. Alright, so I think the next step is to just diagnose I'm not going to film this, guys. I'm not going to film it. I'm just going to pull the fuse out. Right, so as I was saying, the next step is to diagnose why the car radio is still drawing power when it's off. I'll check out the rear camera, because that's part of the radio. I'll check that out as well, but that's for another day. I'm happy with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that fuse out. I'm not going anywhere, so I don't need the radio. I'm going to leave the fuse out. I probably won't be using the car for a while. I might use it today or tomorrow, but I think what I'm going to do now, it's going to take a while to test this, but every time I'm done with the car, I've been shopping and I come back, I'm going to pull that fuse out. The only way to test it would be to not power the car up for 2 weeks. And yeah, but anyway, I've got the numbers right here, 0.1 to 0.05. I've halved the amount of amperage draw. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this back together, start the car up hopefully, and let it tick over for a little while, recover some of that lost juice. Right, okay, so the culprit, the radio fuse, from what I can tell. There may be something else as well. There may be another thing that's causing it. You know, maybe I can pull another fuse out and it'll go back down to somewhere under 0.04. You know, it might not be just one thing, it might be a couple of things. But I want to work on the radio first, sort that out. I'm going to pull the radio out of the dash and have a look and see if there's any bad wiring or anything that could be causing it. And if not, then maybe it's a characteristic of that radio that it just draws. I don't know. I'm going to read the manual of the radio as well to see if I'm missing anything. And just do my due diligence basically and make sure that I don't miss anything silly, because they probably have something in the manual that might say, you know, this is always, make sure you connect this to this, because otherwise it's going to be all live all the time, and I don't know, whatever. I don't know. There might just be something there that you need to that I missed. Maybe that I missed. I don't know. But for now, I'm happy with 0.05 over 0.1, because at least it means if the car can last 10 days at 0.1, then it will last 20 days at 0.05. You know what I mean? Anyway, or even more. It might go a month and it'll still start. Yeah, so that's it. Well, that's what I have so far, and this is an ongoing project that, and I'm sure I'll find a way to get to the bottom of it. I will also talk to other people who've got the same head unit and see if they have the same issues. Okay, that's it. I don't think I can say anything more, and I'll catch you on the next one. And I hope this maybe has helped if you have a parasitic draw. Obviously, if you do, it doesn't mean it's this radio. It could, you know, but check all your third-party stuff first, stuff that you've added to the car. Make sure you check all of that. And also, like, you could argue that maybe I should disconnect the subwoofer cable here, or at least put it back on the body, as opposed to instead of connecting the subwoofer to the negative there, I should put it on the body. And I don't know if it's going to fit over that hole, but it might do. If it does, I think I might put it on there. Yeah, I don't know whether that connector will go over that. I think it's too big. I think that bolt down there, if you can see that, yeah, there, I think that's too big for that. But hey, if it goes on, it'll go on. I'll put it on there as well. Alright guys, that's it. I'm done, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.